now we don't have this. Then we should be able to get awarded this badge. Alright, there you go. And then in here we have the treasure chest. Welcome back guys to a new Roblox Studio tutorial. Today we're going to be doing someone's suggestion on the Discord server, and it's basically like a badge collection, a GUI thingy. So this is pretty simple. So hopefully you can get this done pretty quickly. Basically what that is you have like a GUI where a player can keep track of their badges in the game and whether or not they achieve them. Basically like achievements, right? Like achievements GUI. So we're gonna do something like that. It's gonna be start like all of the badges are gonna be grayed out, and then once you start, collecting these badges in the game, the actual badges, they'll appear as if you collected them, right? So in this place here, I have a couple badges. So it's here. So I have a couple badges. So one of them is called a treasure chest, and one of them is just a welcome badge. So you should just get this as you join the game. I might make one more, just so we can have 3 even, well, not really even, but you can make more, so it will prompt me to just make one. And then I'm just gonna go through the thing, so go to your game. And last thing, badges, create a badge, and then we just make whatever. So let's say, I don't know, 10 wins. So you get 10 wins in the game and you get a badge. Achieve 10 wins. All right, and we should, for some reason, oh yeah, we have to upload an image. Okay, so we just uploaded an image, and we should be able to create this badge. It's completely free now, so this should be pretty simple. So if we refresh this right here, we should see this here. So we're gonna copy all these to clipboard. Okay, and we're gonna do something like a module to keep track of all of the badges, and we're gonna store some information about them. But before anything, let's start with the actual GUI because that's probably the most fun part. So let's start with the GUI, and then let's make a frame like that. Okay, so let's make it about 0.4 on the x-axis, and then 0.5 on the or sorry, no, this is the position. So 0.5, 0.5. Let's make the anchor point 0.5. Let's make that a size 0.4 and then 0.5 like that. Let's make it 0.4 as well, actually. Okay, good enough. All right, so we'll call this badge collection. We'll make this, we'll put a UI corner. Let's make this bright blue. Like that. Let's put a text label. Let us make this 1 and then 0.2 like that. Let's make this for Doka 1. Let's make this bold, text scaled, make this white. Let's call this badge collection. Oops, badge. And background transparency. Actually, let's not make this bold. Okay. Let's make this a bit transparent. The backdrop like that. And let's put a UI stroke. Let's make this a bit thicker like that. Make it match this color like that. Like that. Okay. Actually, let's make this one a little more thicker. All right, this is good. And now we'll have a scrolling frame. So we have like the badges like that. Actually, okay. The position is correct. Let's make the size 10.75, 0.750 like that. And we'll just drag this a little bit like that. Okay, so 0.8 like that. Background transparency. Let's make the scroll bar thickness 1. I think that's good enough. Okay, so inside here, so we'll call this holder. And let's put a UI grid layout. And then let's make a frame, like just a okay, let's put a frame just to test this out. So I kind of want to put this in the center. Um, so center like that. I don't really care about the padding that much. We're not gonna go over that too much. So make this transparent, and then we'll call this badge thingy. And then we're gonna have some stuff. So we're gonna have the name of the badge like on the top, or yeah, on the top is good. Um, make this the same color as this, I guess. Oops. Like that, and then we're gonna have an image. We're gonna make the size 0.5, 0.5, and then let's see. Let's make the anchor point on the y-axis 1, and then position this on the like that. So it's at the end, and 0.5 anchor point on the x-axis. Then make the position 0.5. Make this much bigger, like maybe 0.75, 0.75, 0.75, like that. All right. We're gonna put a UI corner to make it circular. So we'll do like 25 or 50. And I think this is good enough. So when we have our images for our badges, we can just copy, paste this as well in here. So I kind of already uploaded mines. So like for example, the treasure chest, I already have this. And also let's make this background, oh wait, no, it's the image. Background transparency is 1. So this is good. So we will use this asset ID. So let's keep that in mind. So we can like duplicate this. This should be good. I might make this a bit bigger. So UI grid layout. Let's make the cell size a bit bigger, I guess. Maybe like 110, 110. All right. I don't really like how this is too. Let's see. Let's make this a bit smaller. So let's not make this 1. Maybe like 0.8 on the x-axis. And let's make the anchor point 0.5 on the x-axis and make the position 0.5 on the x-axis. So it's in the middle. And so this should be, all right, this is good. This looks good. Okay. Okay, so then like let's say we want another one. We'll use this asset ID as well for the other badges. So I uploaded this as well. Or you can upload them on the creator dashboard. So yeah, here's the ones I uploaded. So this is actually separate than the badges themselves. So you still have to upload the images to Roblox to get the asset ID for. So you like just copy and paste these, I guess. Copy asset ID, stuff like that. Anyways, so let's say we have the asset ID for these. We're gonna make a module, and for this module, we're gonna put the names, or not the names, but the IDs of these badges. Then we'll set it to a name and some information that will be attached to that badge. So for example, you can have a description of that badge and how to get that. So we'll make a module script. Call this badges, or badges. Let's call it badges. Okay. And in this table, we'll do, so for the ID for each one of these. So if I go back here, don't think I have. So the first one should be the treasure chest. So copy ID to clipboard. This will be the ID for it. So this will be, so we'll do name equal treasure chest. And then, so we have the ID, the name, and then we'll do a description. Find the treasure chest to be awarded this badge or something like that. I don't know. And then we'll have the image. Okay, and then the image is whatever we put here. Okay. So it will be RBX asset ID in the asset ID. Okay, so it's the treasure chest, so now we know. And then we'll have another one, will be the welcome badge. So let's see here. The welcome badge, copy asset ID, paste this here, call welcome badge. So we'll do like this badge is awarded to players who played the game. Okay, and then we'll just copy this asset ID, okay, into the image. All right, and then we just need one more. So we made a new badge just right now. It's called 10 wins. All right, and then we'll just copy paste this. And then we'll paste the badge for the new one. 10 wins. This badge will work to players who gain 10 total wins, something like that. And then we can also like paste in the image. So we can do, let's see if I still have this image. So I can do copy asset ID. All right. And then I'll put this here, and then this should change. Okay, so this is the one we want. And then we'll paste this here. Okay. So this should be it. All right, so we have the info here, and we don't really need this. So this was just for displaying purposes. So we'll just make this invisible. All right. So now we want to go through all of this, right, and display this on the GUI, right? And we want to check if the player has these badges or not. And then we'll make like some kind of effect. So like at first it will be like grayed out. So I was thinking of just making this. So like if I were having, so if this was a badge that I don't own, I'll probably like make something like, make this transparency much higher, and then make this transparency higher as well. So like 0.5 maybe. So it kind of looks grayed out. Or anything, actually, let's make a button for this. So button, let's make this button 1. Okay. So let's make this badges. Scaled, text color, like that. For Doka 1, let's put UI corner. Let's make the same color as this. Actually, you know what? Let's make a text label in here. Makes it transparent. Make this like 0.90, 0.90, like that. The same properties like that. Text scale and make this badges. And then the text bind will remove this like that. All right, so we just need to put this in the middle. So anchor 0.5.5 and position 0.5.5 like that. Maybe make this a bit larger. Okay, that's good enough. Usually for buttons, I like some kind of gradient, so I'll just put a gradient. Maybe something like this, maybe. Some kind of gradient effect. Okay, and then let's rotate this. Oops. I don't know. This kind of looks good. I mean, I don't know. I think it's good. Whatever. This is good enough. So now let's actually start scripting. So let's make a local script. Call this badge handler. So local button equals with the parent dot text button. We'll call this badge or open, I guess. I don't know. Open button. With that mouse button, I want to click connect function. We'll make a variable called is visible to indicate if whether or not the frame is visible. So false. So if is visible, then you want to make this, you want to close this, otherwise you want to open it. So we'll do, let's make it a variable for the frame. So local main frame equals script parent that badge collection. We should probably do wait for child. Same for this, as actually now I think of it. Choose wait for child, and then we'll do mainframe that or mainframe what new size and position. What the hell? Oh, why did I do batch handler? It's batch collection. My bad. So I was wondering why it didn't autocomplete. Tween size and position. So we want to tween it so it's kind of like it starts small and then it gets bigger and it also moves up. So this is the current size. So you want to be the end goal. So sorry, this is the position, but the size you want is 0.40, 0.40, and actually this will be in the other condition. So we'll be utent2 dot new 0.40, 0.40. I think it should be like that. All right, so this is the size. The position will be 0.50, 0.50, and then the easing style, or I think it's easing direction. Enum.easing direction dot out. Enum.easing direction dot, oh sorry, the easing style dot sign, and then we'll do like 0.4 seconds. All right, so is visible equals true. Mainframe dot visible equals true. And then if you want to close this, we want to make it small again. So this will be like 0.01, so like a really small size. And then we want to move this down, so this will be like 1.5. So this will be below the screen. We'll make this a little bit quicker. So this will be 0.3 seconds. So after this 0.3 seconds, we'll do wait 0.3 right, and then we'll set this value to is visible equals false. Or actually, we should set this first, and after the 0.3 seconds, we will actually set the visible property to false, right? So this will be false. Okay. So this won't be triggered more than once if we click multiple times, like in a short span of time. So I think this should work. So this is just, I mean, this is just kind of a button. So I kind of over-engineered this. So it's technically, it should start off like small. So technically, the first time is not going to work because it's going to be weird, right? Because it's supposed to start off like in the bottom. But don't need to worry too much about this. So, okay, this is nice. I like this. So now let's actually get started with like the handling of the badges. So we want to get all the badges from this module script and put it on here on this GUI. So this should be pretty easy. So let's require our module. So local badges equals game.replete storage. Actually, let's put this in a folder. Let's call this modules. Oops. Let's put the badges in here. Wait for child modules. Wait for child badges. Okay. So for badge ID, badge name, in pairs, badges. No, this will be badge info. So this will contain everything. So all of this, and then do. So for each of one of these, we'll make a new frame. So it will be, so let's actually make also local badge folder equals badge or mainframe dot folder, or rather wait for child folder local badge frame template equals badge folder wait for child badge. Okay, so we'll do frame clone, so local frame clone equals badge frame template clone. And so for each one of these, we'll put the names as the text label. So right here, so frame clone dot text label dot text equals bed info dot name, because we want to set it to this, and then okay, frame clone, and then frame clone dot image label dot image equals bed info dot image. So this looks good. And then now do frame clone dot visible equals true, frame clone dot parent equals holder or badge holder. So for each one of these, this should work now. So we'll make this invisible, and then let's see. Invalid argument number 1 in pairs table expected got instance. Okay, so I forgot we're supposed to do require. That was a mistake. So we'll do require because we want to acquire what's inside this module, which is this table. All right, so as you can see, we have all of our badges that we specified. So this is pretty cool. Now, what I also want to do is want to have like some kind of side frame where it gives you the information of each badge. So this shouldn't be too much work. It should be pretty simple. So we'll just make another thing called this info frame. And we'll put this inside the badge collection like that. And this should be like I don't know if this is like, okay. All right, this is good enough. I think it's not too bad. All right, so we'll call, it should be changed to the name of the badge once you click on it, and I want to make it a bit smaller too. Okay, center this in the middle. The name of the badge, and then also the same thing, which is the image, basically the same format. And then you'll have, I might also put like a UI, I could put a UI aspect ratio constraint for each one of these. So 1 just means it's a square. So same thing for this. We'll also add this to it, so it doesn't look like weird. We might actually make it smaller. Okay, and then we'll call this description and put this in the bottom. We can keep the text scaled, just so it works better with all the other devices. All right. I mean, it is what it is. So if it's like a lot of like, so if it's a really long description, then it should be fine. But I kind of want this to be at the top. So text Y alignment should be top. This kind of makes a bit more sense. This looks good. So now we'll call this, badge name like that. All right. Okay. So now we'll make this invisible. And so now once we click on this frame clone, oh yeah, we also need to make a clickable thing. For each badge, we'll make like a text button, but it's going to be invisible. So let's say we have a button here. This will be 1, 0 to cover the full width and height, but will be completely like transparent. Text transparency 1, there will be nothing. So this will just be like a clickable. So we'll call this click. Okay. Okay. So frame clone dot the mouse button one click connect function, and then we'll make a variable for the info frame, I guess. Local info frame equals badge, or oops, what happened? Mainframe. Wait for child info frame. Okay. Info frame dot visible equals true, but before that, we'll do info frame dot. So this will be, let me see. So description. So disk equals badge info dot disk. Info frame dot text label dot text equals badge info dot name. And then lastly, info frame dot image label dot image equals badge info dot image. Whew. Okay, so that was a lot of work. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. And one last thing I want to do is once we close this, we want to remove this. Want to make this invisible. So we'll do if so once this is closing, we'll do info visible dot equals false. And then by default, we also want to close this. So what we could do, we'll make this invisible like that. And we could also, and instead of always have to manually do this, we can probably use the frame. So maybe do something like this, copy paste this at the very beginning, like that. So automatic tweens to that starting position if you want. That's kind of what I do. There might be a better way to do that, but that's whatever. Okay, so we won't really see this now. All right, so this looks normal. Oh yeah, this one I'm supposed to keep it, but now if you click on this, okay, we got an error. Let me see. So it's supposed to be that text. Okay, so that was the error I had. So this should be invisible now. And let's make this invisible as well. Oops. So if you open this up, there you go. Treasure chest. Find the treasure chest to be awarded this badge. This badge is awarded to players who gain 10 total wins. This badge is awarded to players who played the game. So now we have a full-fledged badge system. But how do we know if we have this badge? So this is pretty simple. So there's a service called badge service that lets you know whether or not a player has a certain badge, and it's also used to award players badges. So in here, there's a badge service. So there's a lot of stuff in here that you can learn from. So one of the stuff we will use, so let's see, award badge is what we're going to be using to award the badges. You should probably already know this. And there's also get badge info. There's also user badge async. User has badge async. So this is what we will be using. And Roblox, the dev wiki gives us like, I guess, some template. So we will use some of this just because it's that has a lot of checks and balances. I will use this later on, not right now. We will use user has badge async though. So to check the user has a certain badge. So right now we want to check if a person loads in, spawns in. We want to check their badges as they spawn in, right? So that's what we first want to do. So let's see. So for each one of these, you want to check. So let's get the badge service. Badge service. So now we have the badge service. Let's get the local player. Game.players.local player. All right. So now we'll do local has badge equals badge service. User has badge async, which will be the player, their user ID, and the badge ID, which is badge info or just badge ID, right? We have it here. So if it has a badge, we want to make an effect where it shows as if the player owns the badge. Now, as I mentioned earlier, actually, I wanted to make it so everything is grayed out at first, so it will be kind of like transparent. So we can actually do that right now. We will, what's it called? Okay, so image label, let's make this transparent. So it appears kind of grayed out. And text transparency, all right, like that. Maybe we'll make this 4. That's good enough. So once we own a badge, or once the game detect or the script detects the player owns a badge, we can then make this fully opaque. So we can make a function for that. So we'll call this like show badge owned, I guess, to show that this badge is owned by the player. So we'll pass in the frame, and we just need the frame. So we'll do frame.image label. The image transparency equals 1 or 0, I meant. Okay. Frame, and then this will be text label. Okay, so this should work. Right, image transparency. So if has badge, then show badge owned, and then we'll pass in the frame, which is the frame clone. All right. So some of these I basically already own, just because if I go to my badge collection, so I think, yeah, I tested a lot with this actually. So if I'll just test with this one. Oops, okay, I don't know, I forgot how I can do, I think, okay, so in my inventory you can check, so here. So let me see. So yeah, you can check in your inventory. So this is I don't own, but you can also delete it from your inventory, which is nice. So these two should show that I own it. The only one I don't own is the wins badge. So we'll check this out. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of handling in the beginning. You should have made this invisible, but basically it works anyways. Anyways, yeah. So as you can see, this is kind of grayed out, but we have these that are owned. So this is pretty nice. Pretty cool. So now how do we award the badges? That's all we need to do. So once we award the badge, obviously, so right now what we have is once the script loads, it will show the badge that's owned. But what if we just award a badge to a player, right? We want it to update automatically. And that's what we can do using a remote event. So we can make a remote event right now, actually. We'll call this award badge. So whenever you want to award a badge to a player, you want to fire this remote event as well. But an interesting way you can do this, you can encapsulate this. You can award all the badges in one module, and then alongside that module, you will also fire this. So you can just call this module, and it will automatically fire this event for you automatically. So it's just encapsulate things, so you don't have to keep on remembering, oh, I need to fire this remote event. We'll make a folder for this as well. So we'll do remote and then award badge. Okay, so now let's make another remote, and then I'm gonna steal a bit of code from the dev wiki because this is pretty good. Where is this? Okay, so here, up here. So this is some good code for putting some checks before you award a badge, because as you know, actually I'll talk about this later on. But right now, we want to make sure that you can successfully award a badge to players. So here's the pcall function, which contains any error that might happen and prevent any errors that might break the script. This should be it. Okay, so let's do this. Allow. Okay, so we'll copy this. We'll call this badge handler. Oops, here. Okay, so we'll do. All right, so this should be function badge handler dot or badge, so we can call this from outside the script. And then let's get the badge service. Get service, badge service. We'll just match it to this name, whatever. So first, what it does, it checks if this is enabled by getting the info. Now you don't really need this because it should be enabled by default anyways, if you want to award a badge. And so interesting thing, like this pcall function, this is really it's not different than doing like so you can just do like pcall and then do function, and then it'll do badge service, award badge, player.user ID, user ID, and then badge ID. And then you return the result of this. This is the same thing as what was like written before, so that's also pretty interesting. I kind of like this syntax a bit more. I mean, it doesn't really matter. So basically, checks if the awarded, like if this has been awarded successfully or not. Otherwise, it would give you an error message. Now, I think there was another function that badge service. Let me see. So basically, okay, yeah. So this is actually the one that I used. Let's just use this one instead. This is essentially the same thing. So, I mean, just like different syntax, that's all. So we'll do badge handler. Okay. Badge handler, and then it will warn if for any errors. So now what we can do, we can append some of our own code into this, and then we'll do like fire this remote event. And then on this remote event, we can add this functionality where we show this badge as owned. So we'll do local award badge remote. Good game sort of remotes that award badge. And in the end, if everything goes right, so actually what we should do is return if there's any errors. Okay. So so if it's not result, if it's not award success, or if the badge is disabled, we don't want to go through with the rest of the code. Otherwise, if it's everything successful, then we can fire this remote event. So we'll do award badge remote, fire client. We're gonna fire the player, and we will. I think that's it, right? Let me see. Well, yeah, we have to pass in the badge ID, right? So we'll pass in the ID because we do still need to know this. And then, yeah. So we'll probably do something here. Let's get the remote event. So local awarded badge remote equals game sort child remotes. Waiver child award badge. Awarded badge remote on client event connect function. So this would give us the badge ID. So from this badge ID, we need to know which of the badges is on the frame. So a way we could do this, I mean, we can really just, we just make the name of it, I guess. We can do frame clone dot name equal to string badge ID. That's one way you can do it, which would work. Or we can get the ID from this list and then check the names. The first way is probably better. So we'll make the frame clone the name of this as the badge ID. And then we'll do local badge frame equals, so the holder, find for child to string badge ID. If badge frame, so if we found this, and then show badge as owned badge frame. So this should work pretty well. So now every time we award this badge by calling this function, it should send a remote event to the client. So now let's actually award players this thing, right? So let's start with the welcome badge. That's the easiest one to do. So on here, we'll call this, okay, what do we call this? We'll do game.player added connect function player. And then we'll have a check. So let's do local so batch service game get service So if, and then we'll also get the where is this welcome badge? So do local welcome badge equal this. So if badge service user has badge sync player.user ID and then welcome badge. So if not, we'll do if not, then we can award this badge using the module script that we just basically wrote. So badge handler equal required game.resorted.modules dot badge handler. We'll do badge handler award badge, pass in the player and the badge ID. So let's see if this would work. Now I already own this badge, so let's try deleting it from our inventory. So let's delete inventory. Okay. Alright, so we shouldn't have this badge. Alright, so let's print award badge. Alright, as you can see, it awards us the badge. So if you check again on this GUI, alright, pretty cool. This is gonna be hard to test because we didn't really see what it was before. So let's actually go and do something like the chest, right? Alright, so now let's make a chest and we'll make a prompt. And once you trigger that prompt, you'll get rewarded that badge. So let's search up just the random treasure chest model. Okay, so this is good enough. We'll just do like a prompt. So I was thinking of doing a touched, but that would be a little bit complicated because the touch event fires a lot of times, and we don't want to fire a lot of times. We don't want to call the method too many times because that can cause error within the API, right? Rate limit error. So we'll do just like a proximity prompt instead. Like that. And then we'll do action text open chest or something like that. And then make the whole duration 1. And then in this here, we'll put a script. We'll do script. Okay, so apparently, Studio just crashed and I guess it just updated randomly. That's really odd. Okay, so I guess this is our new UI now. Anyways, so I was just editing the script and it crashed. So this is super odd. I guess I have to live with that now. Anyways. So, this is really distracting me. Okay, so script.parent that triggered connect function. Oops. And script.parent would be the proximity prompt. So player. And then let's make some variables for the badge. So local chest badge equals, and then we can get this from here. So treasure chest would be this right here. And then let's get the badge handler module. Equal game, or should be required. Game.replicated store.modules dot badge handler. So now all we should do is, and we need badge service. Local badge service. Game get service. Badge service. Alright. So now we can do badge service. Or if badge service, user has badge sync, which is player.user ID. Just badge. Then return, we don't want to continue. But if the player doesn't have that, then we can award the badge. So we'll do badge handler. For badge, player. And then the chest badge. Alright. So I guess we can test this out. So I guess this is the button now. So we'll do I think I already own the badge, right? Okay, so I already own this badge. I did a little bit testing off camera too, so this is why I own this badge now. But I still own this badge, so we'll go and disable this right now. We're just gonna delete this here. Alright. So we don't own this anymore. Okay. And then let's actually stop this and then let's join back. So now we don't have this. Then we should be able to get awarded this badge. Alright, there you go. And then in here we have the treasure chest. Alright. So last thing, let's make this work. Let's delete this from our inventory as well. So let's go here, delete this. I just found this all in my inventory, so I just went to my badges. And then that's how you should find it. Alright. And this is just simply and so player added. So we can just do like a leader stats. So local leader stats equal instance that new folder leader stats that name equal leader stats. Okay, leader stats dot parent equals player, and then we can just make a win stat local wins equal instance new number value local wins dot name equal wins that parent equal leader stat. Okay, and now we just have to check if the wins reach a certain point. So we'll do wins dot change connect function. Then we'll do the v, so the value of wins. If v equals 10, then if player or if badge service user has badge sync player.user ID and the what's it called, the 10 wins badge. So we're gonna just paste this, and then badge service, or we'll do return, and then otherwise, or no, we can't do this. We'll do if not user. If the user doesn't have this badge, then we'll award the badge. So we'll do badge handler award badge player, and then this badge. All right, so we can test this out now. Oops. I don't know why I did that. It's supposed to be a string. Like that, okay. Alright, so wins. And then let's go back to, how do I go to, oh, okay. Is it this one? Okay, here. Alright. So now I'm on the server. Now I can change the stats for this. So let's say we put this at 9. And we'll change back to client. Nothing happens, but we get 9 wins. And then let's add one more. So let's put 10 now. We'll go back to client. It gives us a badge, and now we're awarded. Let's go back here. And we've been awarded the badge. Actually, I should have checked this earlier, but we could do this. So let's actually stop the game and then let's check one more time. Oops. Okay, let's refresh. We have this badge now. Yes. So let's go here. And then let's play again. So it doesn't save because we didn't make a data store for this, but it's whatever. So this is grayed out. All right, so now let's go here. Let's go on the player. Wins. Let's put 10 here. And then let's go on the client. There we go. 10 badge, and now we're awarded this. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick little tutorial. I don't think it was really quick, but that was suggested by someone from our server. So yeah, if you want any suggestions, please be sure to join our server. Give it a like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.